we're going to start doing the racing segment now as a video. Put it up on YouTube. Hopefully you guys will come and like it. And eventually the whole show is going to end up on YouTube and video places like that. I guess the first bit of racing news, and we did talk about it on the podcast and the show live, is we lost Dane Westby this week. Go back, listen to the show. We said a lot on there. I don't want to go through it for people who listen to the show again. But he'll be truly missed by us, by most of the racing community. I don't know anybody. He was one of those riders that everybody seemed to like.
And he was always willing to come on the show, even not since I've been here, but I did listen to him a lot when you guys had him on the different interviews. He always seemed like a good guy.
Yeah, and he was, as long as Warren wasn't on the show, he was, give his time to us, without any problem at all.
Warren's chased away a lot of guests.
Yes, he has.
I even ran a few out of state, according to you guys.
Yeah, that you actually
apparently
did. But
and no, that is not me on camera. That is actually Emma. Just so to
Emma
make that
is
point.
Ken's step double.
That's right. Those are my stunt boobs.
Those are Ken's stunt boobs, and Ken, your boobs are nicer than Boyd Crowder's.
Thank you. Watch what I can do with them. Look.
Hey. That's amazing. Wow. That might be worth the whole video process.
They talk for me.
Eventually, the way the format of this show is going to be Emma kind of steering the show, and she's going to be giving questions and bringing up topics and stuff, and then the rest of us are going to chime in, and we're going to get some outside participation and stuff. So that's all going to be a bit of work in progress, and obviously this is just us getting the cameras going.
We have to start somewhere.
We got to start somewhere, and this is where we're starting. I touched a little bit on... I touched a little bit up on Dane Westby's passing, and I was going to start this segment off with talking about Motor America did their first testing at COTA, and up until this morning I was super excited because, Cam Boubier was fastest in Superbike, Josh Hayes was right there, and I thought, man, that's your Jake Lewis, Roger Hayden, Chris Fillmore, Elena Myers did pretty well, 7th in Superbike, so I thought, man, that was, things were going pretty good. Super Stock 1000, Westby led the whole field with Jake Gagne right there. The rest of the guys in there, I'm not all that familiar with.
Yeah, there were a lot of guys I noticed that their names didn't mean anything to me, which is good. I'm looking
forward to that, though.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing. I think they needed some turnover.
Yeah, and then Superstock,
because a lot of them that were there last year have gone on to Europe to be slow.
Yes, a lot of those guys did do that to go slow in Europe.
Yeah.
I won't mention.
You won't mention Larry Pagrum.
Larry Pagrum by name, but that is the way it goes. And then the Super Sport class, which has Garrett Goloff, Josh Herron, the non-Asian Bobby Fong. That's his new nickname. I'm giving him that nickname. JD Beach. So there's Benny Solis, Ben Young's in there, Kyle Wyman's in there. So there's a bunch of guys in there with familiar names and some new names. So I'm looking forward to that. David Anthony's a new name. Thomas Puerta, I guess you say it.
Yeah.
From last year.
Tomas Puerta.
Tomas, whatever. So that I'm really looking forward to their first race at COTA and everything. I'm really excited for that.
I'm really looking forward to it because I want to see them running together. I think that's going to be a tremendous event.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward. It sucks because I thought I'd be talking about how I was looking forward to Dane Westby getting his chance to show off in front of the world community. Because all those teams are going to be there and stuff.
Right.
Now some of the other guys I think are going to get the spotlight. Jake Gagne, who we had on in just this past fall, who's an up-and-coming guy.
Yep.
Bobby Fong, Josh Herron again, JD Beach. So there are some other guys that are and Cam Boubier. I can see Cam Boubier moving.
Cam Boubier's been on the world scene before,
and going back.
It probably doesn't mean as much for him.
Yeah, that's probably true.
But yeah, Gerloff,
Gerloff, this is a big opportunity for him.
Yeah, I think so.
But that's it. What it is, well, I guess no, it's about a month before they race there. So,
is it that long? Really?
About 3 weeks, something like that.
Yeah,
that's almost a month in my opinion.
Right. Yep.
Who am I to judge?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess we should jump over to Supercross.
Yeah, there's some good racing Supercross in Detroit. this past week.
We say since Warren is French, we will say Detroit.
I am
like
not
the French.
French. I'm American.
Yeah, Warren's French, so we will call it Detroit.
He's a French West Virginian.
He's a French West Virginian, which means he surrenders for moonshine.
That's actually a true statement.
I was going to say he waves white flag when he's inbreeding.
Ken,
nothing says love it like a sister.
Did you drive your Volkswagen today?
I did.
All right.
They build those in West Virginia?
I know how to blow things up real good.
Yeah. So Warren came out to see my new house, right? And he's sitting there and he's like, "Yeah, if I was still in the Army, I could blow everything up on this property." I'm like, "The little shack people call a shed's where I'm going to live, Warren."
Yeah, you know that's against the
law.
Like,
I can blow this up. I was like, ah!
That's called brandishing. You realize, right?
Only if you whip it out.
Okay.
Oh, hey,
not on the show.
He might have, and I just didn't see it.
See that got her attention. You notice?
Yeah. Was all like,
first words were, "Oh, hey." Okay.
But Supercross was in Detroit.
Yeah, the 250s was a pretty good event. Musquin did not win this time.
Yeah, Bogle won on the Geico Honda.
It was set in advance. It was not going to be a KTM weekend.
Yeah, it kind of was.
Yep.
It kind of was.
It was a Geico Honda kind of weekend.
It really was.
It was, exactly.
Justin Bogle, he kind of came out, and it was some good, tight racing for
Musquin, for the first time, got a really crummy start.
Yeah.
Didn't have a good start. But he did pretty respectable in that race, considering where he started.
He made a pretty good charge from the field, which is something we've been saying has been lacking in the East.
Yeah.
All year. The 250 East has been kind of the
whole shot and it's
ugly
over.
Stepchild.
Yeah.
Yeah, really. If you didn't win the whole shot, you didn't have a chance.
It's like comparing me to Emma.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, see, like when I do this, nobody cares.
What'd you just do?
Yeah, exactly.
Wait, you are on camera, Phil. Do it again.
Somehow I can tell that's not going to live well. But I thought the crash between Hampshire. There was a lot of guys decided to try and race outside the tough blocks.
Yeah,
that happened a few times.
Some not intentionally.
Some not intentionally. The Davalos Hampshire crash was just crazy. There was a couple other guys who literally gassed it into the turn and ended up.
Oh yeah.
It's like, hey, you should be landing going into the turn.
And there were a couple pretty decent wrecks there too.
Yeah, it really was.
Well, it was a kind of unique track for this year in that it had a lot of sand in one of the turns. The turn was more sand than it was dirt.
Yeah.
And then you also had the downhill that went up into the stands and back down. I hadn't seen that this year anyplace else. So
yeah, but that's not all that uncommon. I think the problem was too many guys were trying to go for like quads and triples instead of doubling jumps.
Yeah, it was a lot of that.
And they were trying to triple in right before a turn. That doesn't really work out well.
Not if you miss it, you're in deep trouble.
If you miss it,
there's
the
no
party's
recovery.
over.
Yeah, there's no recovery time.
Then you're running into RJ Hampshire and setting him out off the track.
Right.
So there were some couple bad wrecks in that, but Justin Bogle did pull out the win. Savacci third, Musquin was second, Jeremy Martin came in fourth. So it was a good weekend. It was a good weekend if your name was Justin Bogle.
Wasn't a bad weekend if your name was Marvin Musquin either, because the charge he made basically
saved him the points lead,
and basically says that he is the strongest guy out there. He missed the whole shot, but he's outrageously strong. Yeah,
and he did save a lot of points where this could have been a bad weekend points wise.
And Marvin's at 144 and Bogle's at 131, so he did make up some, but not a lot.
Yeah, and we're rapidly approaching towards the end of.
Yeah, they don't have that many opportunities.
Yep, May 2nd.
Not in the 250s.
Not in 250s. Well, yeah,
250 East anyway.
East.
Well, both East and West, you don't have as many races because they're splitting the season.
Right.
So you don't have as many opportunities to make up points. A bad weekend, it's hard to make up for.
If he'd came in like 7th, that would have made it
hurt.
Tough. That would have been a tough week.
Yeah.
Then in the 450s, out of nowhere, I'm convinced Eli Tomac listens to the show.
I think so too.
Because he came out like
before we get too much into
on
that, does anybody have an update on Ken Roxon?
No. I was going to ask you guys if you had heard anything.
I was wondering if either of you guys had heard an update on Ken Roxon.
I haven't even seen a press release on it. I was expecting him back last week. I definitely was expecting him back this week.
They're not even talking about it. They're not even mentioning him. It's going to make me wonder a little bit about what's going on.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I should tweet Diana Dahlgren just for stuffs and giggles.
Great. First video. First video. Way to go, Phil. I don't even know how to bleep that out.
Yeah, we're going to leave it. But maybe I should just tweet her just to say hi.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Yeah, I give her the eyebrow. But
now she's running into fear.
Yeah, probably. But it definitely seems like I don't know what's going on, Roxanne. It definitely seems like Tomac had a fire under his ass.
He definitely did.
He
got a good start, and I think he knew that he needed to press really, really hard because the way Dungey's been able to
manage a lead.
Well, not only manage the lead, but how he's been able to take over the lead in the first couple laps when he didn't get the whole shot. He's been really, really strong, and. But it's just like so weird. Musquin wins, Dungey wins, Musquin loses, Dungey doesn't. Neither one of them wins.
Well, it seems to go in pairs. You have the weekends where it's all KTMs, weekends where it's all Honda.
But that's been pretty much most of the season. At least in the 250 East, right? I mean,
it's always been in the 250 East.
Yeah, exactly. Until this weekend.
Right.
So I mean. Dungey didn't really hurt himself. He came in second, which never hurts all that bad. Especially he's got
with a huge lead. He's
67 point lead.
Well, speaking of hurting himself, what about the Weimer Kennard crash?
A little bit of a crash.
Yeah, I feel bad for Trey Kennard because he just can't seem to get through a season without at least one good wreck.
Well, this one was real good because he's out for the season.
I know.
Yeah, and Weimer is questionable for the season.
Is that right?
Yeah. So Kennard broke his arm.
Yeah,
Kennard's got the worst luck, I swear.
He does. Yeah, I like Trey Kennard, but it just makes it so hard. When he races now, I always like, where's that crash coming?
Well, and he's having a good season too.
Right,
he's had a great season.
Until he crashes, he always has a good season.
Yeah.
So
this one wasn't his crash. This Weimer calls this one.
Yeah.
He just happens to be in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah, but that's
luck.
That's Kennard for 4 years, 5 years.
Yeah, he's
now.
been having a lot of bad luck.
He's just had, missed that turn or missed a gear or he just
something
has
happens.
bad luck.
Something happens.
So Dungey got his second. I thought Seeley had a good race. I think Seeley's up and coming.
Yeah.
Tomac, I'm finally glad to see some fire under him. The question is does it come back next week?
Yeah, I don't know. His season's been so up and down. He started really good after he was on the show. Then it went to crap pretty much. Then he gets this little lift up. I don't know what to predict for next week.
Yeah.
If I was a betting man, I'd say, you got to bet on Dungey for next week because he clearly is having the most consistent season out there. So.
And I think Millsaps is looking better now.
Yeah.
And I was rough on Millsaps in the beginning of the year. So he's starting to look a little bit better and stuff. And Chad Reed.
Chad Reed's just Chad Reed.
Chad Reed's just Chad Reed.
You don't know what you're going to get from Chad Reed. He's been having a lot of unforced errors this season, and he had one really, really good race, but he's getting better starts than he had been getting, but he makes mistakes. So
yeah, we'll see.
At his age, he can't afford to make mistakes.
And Weston Pike, I heard some other people talking, and there's a lot of people, and he was talking in his little interview thing about trying to get in better shape. I think that's been his issue all along. Is
you think he's just getting gassed towards the end of the race? He gets
gassed before 8 laps to go or so. He's gassed.
What do you think, Emma?
I think it's great.
No, Emma, poor Emma. We're throwing Supercross at her, and we didn't even tell her to watch the race. Well, we didn't tell her we were going to do that.
We're going to cure up.
We're going to have to.
But next week I'll be really prepared.
Okay, we believe you.
And Emma is until we get things going smooth. She'll be the stunt double for one of us each week.
But I'll get things going. I have no problem with that.
Right.
My motor's revving now.
On the 450 season, though, if Dungey doesn't hurt himself or doesn't, completely fall apart, is there any real chance that he's not going to win the season now?
Exactly.
Kennard's out.
Exactly what you just said. Unless he falls apart. Unless he has a season-ending injury, unless he starts having really, really bad races suddenly, which is no reason to believe he's going to at this point.
He's over 80 points ahead of the next guy.
It's done.
Yeah, you can almost anoint him now.
It's done because the other guys that are out there that have the skill to compete with him are too far back in the points.
Yeah.
So
Kennard was the only one that was
but
close.
anything can happen.
Done.
He could be injured next weekend.
He could get injured in a qualifier.
Right.
And the party, the party go.
Right.
And Tomac could end up winning.
Right.
And
there are things have happened. And there are some other tracks coming, and you don't know, but there's a possibility that some of these other tracks may pose different challenges to him that don't work as well. He has been getting good starts. One really, really bad start, you don't know. It looks like it's a huge lead, and I think it is a huge lead, and there's no reason to expect that he's not going to win the championship. But anything's possible. But it's a stretch.
It's a stretch.
Yeah.
Hey, touching back on Roxon, he's saying on his Facebook page, Houston, he'll be back. Houston, April.
Okay. So that's not too far away.
Too late for the championship.
Too late for the championship. Too late for me.
Which I think he was the main competitor, the main guy out there that everybody was expecting. It was going to be
odds-on favorite to win.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's kind of where Supercross ended up. Chris, where are they going next week? Chris will look that up. But we did have World Superbike, WSBK.
St. Louis?
Yeah. St. Louis. St. Louis. We say it like the French.
St. Louis.
St. Louis. St. Louis.
Yeah.
St. Louis next week for Supercross. Saturday nights. Got to check that out. But this week they went to a brand new place for World Superbike in Thailand.
Chiang Thai. Shanghai.
I'm going there in Shanghai. People are like, you're an idiot. I'm like, I know.
You know what? And what happened there, I completely take credit for. Because I offended the Thai people so bad in my post on Facebook.
You did.
Didn't I?
You did. That your favorite racer went out and won.
He went my favorite.
Your favorite racer. Yeah. I was so aggravated by this. I can't even begin to tell you.
I just want to say his name. Can I say his name?
Absolutely.
But I want to say his brother's name because his brother came in 5th place, and his brother's name is Rathapong Willarot.
Yeah.
Which is nothing like the names We Too Slow, which is what I expected was going to be racing. But
he did pretty good.
But the older brother, who we've seen in a bunch of different venues for racing,
Moto 2,
World Superbike,
Moto 3, I believe.
Right. Ratha Park Willarot actually won.
Exactly. That's why he's Ken's favorite guy.
I just love saying his name. Say it, Emma.
Kathapong Willarot.
That was close. That's probably better than I did my first time.
Probably, yes, Phil.
Because I was like,
probably better than you did.
Okay, it reminds me of like I will ride.
I will teach you that Emma can learn better than you. Watch this right now. Okay, all right, Emma, you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Ratha Park Willarot.
Yes,
he did that.
I'd never be able to say that.
Yes.
But in the world, that was World Supersport, and last year we didn't talk much about World Supersport. I was excited. I one of the things I was, and we didn't talk about it before the show. Thank you, God, because we almost did. One of the things I was really excited about was how well P.J. Jacobsen did, the American.
Yes, I mean he's done better overseas than in recent years any riders have.
Yes,
he did. He was in British Superbike. He did well. Or British Supersport, right?
British Supersport. Well, he did Superbike, Supersport, and one of the other things they did.
Yeah,
he Super Stock, I think.
Right.
But when he was out there racing, with Sofalong, whatever. The guy who better never come to America. Sofa glue.
Yes, because we'll take care of his couch when he gets over here, okay? Because we're taking away his sofa glue. Keenan Sofa Glue.
Same difference. Who's like a 3-time World Supersport champ.
We're going to do a YouTube show on Phil pronouncing words,
And we'll go through the entire alphabet, starting with ask.
Right.
But... that just says to me, I don't care anymore. It just says to me that he's not, that he can win there, but he can't win anyplace else because nobody's giving him a ride, so he should retire. But PJ was out there racing with Willarot, Cluzel.
Yay!
I said that right?
Yes.
And who's the other former Moto 2 rider? that was out there?
Oh
crap!
God, he was way down the list. I know you're talking about.
because he crashed.
Yes, but I know you're talking about, but I don't even know why you brought him up.
Well, I brought him up because
he was also out there with Martin Cardenas,
who they didn't mention at all.
Just barely.
a little bit.
Just
But he's. I was actually surprised he did that much better than Cardenas. But he was out there with a bunch of guys.
Gino Rea, you talking about? Gino Rea used to be a used to be Moto2 rider.
Yeah, Gino Rea used to be, and somebody else out there was. I'm trying to remember who it was.
Yeah.
Anyways, he was out there racing with guys who have been on multi-level high racing, and he was with them. He was fighting there with them. He was clawing, got up to second once, and then dropped back, and then got up to second again. Then got passed in like the last 20.
It was a destiny race.
It really was.
It was a destiny race. It was Willerot. What was the name again, Emma?
Willerot.
I know. You got to do the whole thing. Ratha Park?
Oh, God. Like dinosaur name.
Yes.
All right. Ratha Park.
There you go.
She was in it like she's Oriental. Ratha Park! Why don't you want to buy? You got to say
he was named after the Star Trek movie Wrath of Khan.
It was the first ever... It was the first ever World Supersport race in Thailand on a brand new track, Chiang Thai.
It was a nice track.
I think I had that last night for dinner.
Yes, Chiang Thai.
I thought the track was, I'm, as you guys know, and if you don't, you will in a momentarily. I've not been a super huge fan of motorcycle racing, even though I love motorcycles. Supercross has really got me. I'm not 100% on board with street racing yet, but that was a cool track. I thought it was well laid out.
We call that road racing. Street racing is bad. Okay, it's bad. Okay.
Street racing.
No, don't say street racing.
Road racing. But I thought the track was really nice. It has a good long straights. It had a lot of tight turns. It was fun to watch.
Yes, it was good. It was good racing, and we are very, very biased. We are. I know I can speak for Phil and me. We've really become much more in touch with World Supersport because of PJ Jacobsen.
Yeah, we have.
If there was no American in there, we
wouldn't care.
We're totally flag toters, and we wouldn't be watching.
That's right.
Yeah.
But I was just happy. I was just happy to see him out there. That gives me hope that if he has a pretty bang up season, we might see him in World Superbike.
Yeah.
Actually.
Now, so I wish there were some Americans racing in World Superbike.
That is so loaded when the way you say that.
Right.
We screwed up in the Revolutionary War. In the Revolutionary War, when we beat the British, or the War of 1812, you take your pick. It doesn't matter how many times we beat the British. We should have went over and took their country. Because then we would have swept the podium in Thailand in both races in World Superbike.
Yes,
because the Brits were just dominant.
They were very strong.
The Brits are dominant right now in World Superbike. So much so that I got to give credit to the announcers actually saying there's a lot of people that are unhappy. How dominant they are. You know what? You got to look at the guys that are out there racing. Every one of those guys been out there racing, as far as I'm concerned, has earned it. They all have done extremely well coming up through the ranks. And you know who I'm happiest for out there right now is actually Haslam.
Yeah. He's had some rough years.
Real rough years.
He's had some really rough years.
Really rough years. And I think... you know what? It's great that he's on a good bike.
Yeah.
It's a great thing he's on a good bike. But, you can say the same thing of Johnny Rea,
Johnny Rea looked really strong.
And it's justice. I think it's justice that he's on the nice Aprilia now and Guintoli's on his old Honda.
I think that's fair.
Because, yes, I do.
It's Guintoli and he's French.
Right.
You look at people Warren. In the camera, Warren is to my left. Don't look
at me.
That's who I was looking at. I get to do the show
looking if you're looking at the show, Warren is underneath you.
Oh, okay. I was going.
Warren's on the bottom.
You need to move. You need to fix that. I am not.
No, you can't.
You don't want to be on. Believe me, you don't want to be on top of them. Okay.
Yeah, you don't want to be on top of me. Pretty much, I should be in a frame by myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, Haslam. I'm happy for Haslam that he's competitive. I'm happy for Rea that he's having a good season.
I think all of them. I think I think people need to take a deep breath. I want to talk to the people in the pool right now.
Yes.
That are World Superbike pool MotoGP. Look, take a deep breath. You people want to. Some people are anointing Rhea. And he may very well go on to win the championship. There's no question about it. But just...
It's early.
It's early. There's some people are going to make changes. Please, for it may be championship wise. Some people may be too far down to ever recover, but you're going to see some people that are going to have an effect on the championship that are out there.
Chaz Davies
going to affect on it. Tom Sykes is going to have an effect on it.
I think
there's going to be
Torres, Jody Torres, Nico
Jody
Terrell.
Torres. Yeah, I don't know if Nico Terrell will actually.
Larry Pegram.
Yeah, Larry Pegram. If only way he has an effect on the championship is if they have to dodge his bike when they pass. Okay.
Well, he slows up
the bike broke down this past weekend,
right.
So he didn't have much of a chance even to dodge anything.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And and let's see. Hey, Troy Bayliss. Hats off to him. Guys comes back after all this time and pretty damn good out there on a bike he's not familiar with.
40 places ahead of Larry Pegram.
That's right.
But as far as the racing went, this is the first time I've actually watched World Superbike. I missed the last week because I couldn't get the computer to work.
You didn't know how to sign into a website.
Oh my God!
No, I signed into it. It just didn't work.
God!
I want to tell you guys a little story. So Warren couldn't sign in. I give Emma the password on Facebook. I'm like, Emma, you need to watch this. No, let me know if you have any problem because I just helped Warren.
Right?
Not a problem at all. Emma, how were the races?
The 1.5 I watched, I had no problem logging into the computer.
Yay!
But next week I'll be all prepared. I promise.
Okay, that works for us.
That's
what
good.
I was going to
next
say.
Week,
we won't.
Next week there isn't a World Superbike race,
but there is
MotoGP. So you got to teach her that too.
Yeah, we're working on that.
So you're gonna have to watch 2 races this weekend.
Okay.
Moto 2.
Moto 2.
And MotoGP.
GP.
You got it. See?
There we go. See, she's ahead of Durka.
Yeah.
That is why Durka's not leading the interviews and Emma is, because Emma.
And I have beautiful boobies.
Right. And which is more important than
Durka.
No,
leave
your shirt
I was
up.
kidding.
Leave your shirt up.
Rhea won, pulled the double, which I don't want to think.
What I was
a
trying to get at was
surprise.
there was no real racing except for 3rd and 4th position on both races.
There was some really good racing between Jody Torres and Tom Sykes. That was the best racing
that was
going
on. Yeah, so for my first World Superbike, it really wasn't a lot of racing. It was actually kind of boring, to be honest with you.
I mean, I think there was a good period of time in there where I expected Haslam was gonna do.
I thought Haslam was gonna catch him in the first race.
Yes,
I was literally shocked that Haslam didn't catch him in the first race.
Well,
and I think had he not had such a hard time getting by Sykes,
yes,
he would have.
Right.
But I think by the time he got past Sykes, his tires were gone. In this level of racing, Warren, it takes so much to pass somebody, especially at the front of the field. Back of the field, you can kind of, when you're passing guys like Larry Pegram, you can, put a parachute out and stuff and go by him. And I know I'm picking on Larry Pegram, and he has been on the show.
Yes, you are. You're not being nice at all.
His superbike,
Larry, he doesn't really mean it.
I kind of do. His superbike race, show here in the U.S. gets more views than the AMA ever did with AMA Pro Road Racing than DMG ever got. But I'm not trying to be a jerk, but he's not on a competitive bike, and
we were kind of hoping that he would be a little bit more so this year. But
I knew he would. I knew he wasn't going to be when he signed that deal. Now I think EBR is doing the right thing because I think Larry could be a good development rider, but I don't see Larry Pegram ever being. I think by the time that bike's ready to take him to a championship, Larry Pegram will not be in the sport.
I agree with that. I don't know that EBR is ever going to be a championship bike.
I don't either.
But of course, there's enough rule changes because, rule changes can definitely affect things. And
I would love to see an American win on an American bike.
I'd be doing
all kinds of
look. I'd be happy to see an American be competitive. I don't care what bike he's on.
Exactly.
And I think Dorna would like that too.
I know the DawgHouse would like that. Yeah. That's what I really care about. I think some of the guys, Alex Lowe's look really good. Chaz Davies look good. I wouldn't.
Alex Lowe's is making more mistakes than I thought he would. That kind of surprises me for him.
I think he's going to come
down as he was. Well, maybe it is. Maybe it's nerves, but. I don't know. Plus, I don't know. Maybe he's waiting for the Big Bang.
Could be. Could be.
Bang Theory.
Yeah.
So their next round, I'm not even sure where it is now. It's not for a few weeks. We got we got MotoGP this week coming up in Qatar.
Mm-hmm.
Or Qatar. It all depends on
right.
who you're listening to. Qatar, Qatar.
And everybody is probably going to go out and pick Marc Marquez.
And
why wouldn't you?
Why would right? I mean, to be the man, you got to beat the man, and right now he's the man. Although
it's going to make it a really boring pool season if we've got everybody picking, a Johnny Rea in World Superbike, and everybody picking Marc Marquez, and everybody picking his brother to win in Moto 2.
The pool kind of always seems to go with the whole, oh my God, oh my God, this guy won. He's hot. Oh my God, the pool trends a lot. So I'm not all that worried about everybody sticking on one guy on the pool. I could see Lorenzo or Rossi pulling a huge upset.
Well, we got MotoGP starting
this weekend.
So the season hasn't started yet. So I'm going to ask you, Phil, what do you think the biggest surprise of 2015 in Moto 2 is going to be?
In Moto 2?
Everybody expects that we're going to, you want
my biggest surprise out of Moto 2?
Yes.
Is that the young Marquez, and I don't remember, is it Alex Marquez?
Yes, Alex Marquez.
Doesn't win the championship.
Okay. So who wins then based on that? So because that's what everybody's thinking.
I hate to say it, but it's probably going to be Rabat.
Okay.
I would like to see maybe Sam Lowe's.
Isn't there another Vinales out there somewhere?
Yeah, but I think he's in
Moto
3, right?
I'm not sure.
I'm trying to look through.
Okay.
I'm trying to look through. Yeah, he hasn't moved up yet. I think the biggest surprise is going to be that Alex Marquez doesn't win the championship.
Okay.
I don't know who. I'd prefer not to pick Rabat.
That would be based on the odds makers. The odds makers are thinking that way.
Yeah, I don't want to pick Rabat because I don't necessarily like Rabat, but I don't see anybody beating him yet. In the long haul of the season, race by race, I don't think anybody's going to be really dominant. I mean, there's guys, Sandro Cortese, Zarco, Baldassari. There's some other guys in there, Corsi, that can win races.
Again, but not consistently.
Not consistently.
Of those guys you listed in there, who's been a consistent performer?
None of them.
That's right.
And a couple years ago, I would have said Nakagami was an up-and-coming guy, and then last
Nakagami.
He just totally right. Taki Nakagami. Right?
I know those kind of
Takura Nakagami. They call him Taki for short.
Taki, whatever.
Oh, like the chips.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I have no idea what the chips. Aguirre's there. There's a lot of guys there who can win. Same difference.
Okay.
There's a lot of guys there who can win, and I think you're going to have a lot of different guys win in Moto 2.
Really?
That's my prediction.
Okay.
Because I think everybody's expecting Alex Marquez to come out and sweep the season because he's the greatest in the world except for his brother.
When the season ended last year, my biggest surprise was that Tito Rabat wasn't offered a ride by any MotoGP team.
That was a surprise to me, too. Normally, you win the Moto 2
When they said he was coming back, I was shocked. I was sure at his age that he was prime for them. At least somebody that was in an open class team, I thought, at a minimum, would pick him.
I can't understand how you can end up being the Moto 2 champion and not even get a consideration. Or maybe he turned it down and we never heard.
That's true. But I think we would have heard.
I think we would have heard.
Yeah.
You would think.
I think we would have heard.
What you got any big surprises coming out of
Well, you kind of stole my thunder. I mean, I thought the same thing, too. I think it's not going to be a walk in the park for Vinales. When his older brother was...
Marquez.
I'm sorry. Thank you, Marquez. When his older brother was racing in Moto 2, he had a season where he was chasing somebody else, a German kid by the name of Stefan Bradl. Yep. And it wasn't until Stefan Bradl moved out of the way that he was able to win the championship.
Yeah, the younger Vinales is racing Moto 3.
Yeah. So I think that Alex Marquez will win some races this year. I don't think there's any question about it. But I would agree with you. Consistency is everything, and Tito Rabat, for all the things he doesn't win when I think sometimes he should win, he is consistent. He produces the points, and that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. So and he doesn't wreck. I mean, when was the last time you saw Tito Rabat wreck?
I can't even remember.
So he's a good points earner.
And I prefer to call him Chico Rabat.
Chico?
Chico.
Okay, but anyway.
That's why I like.
It's Esteve.
Esteve
Rabat.
Steve.
Quick. What is it?
Esteve.
Esteve.
And then you got the MotoGP, which it's hard to say anybody but Marquez is going to win the championship. What stranger things have happened in this world?
Pending a season-ending accident, he was so dominant last year.
Yeah, but he was dominant last year.
And his bike's probably only got better.
Yeah, but he was dominant.
Not necessarily.
I
because sometimes what happens is the opposing teams close the gap, and I think you're going to see that Yamaha has closed the gap.
Yamaha has closed the gap.
The big advantage that
we know Ducati's
the big advantage that Honda had was their seamless transmission. You know, there's been other changes too. Now, supposedly there's a spec ECU, but I don't buy it. I think that's completely
I think that's just media fodder.
Right.
I could see Lorenzo being better this year. Last year he seemed miserable.
Yeah.
Rossi, I think, and this is going to be the death of this show, I think Rossi got one more championship push in him.
Yeah, push, but I don't think arrival. I don't believe that.
And I will say this: if he wins another one, he will retire.
I think Rossi will win some races this year. I don't think there's any question about it. I don't think he's.
So you don't think Marquez is going to win as many as he did last year?
That would be so hard to duplicate.
Yeah, I don't think Marquez will win as many races as he won last season. I don't think Agostini's records at any risk at all this season. I think what you'll see is you will see Jorge Lorenzo win some races this season.
Yeah, you'll see
last season.
You'll see Pedrosa. We barely.
That will be the shocker of the season.
Well, I'm gonna give you my GP shock of the season. Ducati's gonna win in one race.
Only if the other teams don't show up.
I won't argue that because that's what I was going to say. It could rain. I do expect a lot better things from Ducati this season. I think the GP15 bike is such a big departure from the old bike. Mm-hmm. It's Audi's first opportunity to put their
and it's already put some serious laps down as far as speed.
It is. And everybody's respecting that. We will see. Marc Marquez said he still thinks his competition is the Yamaha, and I think it is too until we see otherwise. But I wouldn't be surprised to see the Ducati win a race this season.
Well, I wouldn't say they're going to win a lot. I said one. They're going to win one.
I wouldn't surprise me to see them win a race.
Suzuki podiums a few times.
If Suzuki, that would be a shocker to me. That would be a shocker. I
don't even follow this that close, and I think that would be a shocker.
I think, I don't know about that. We'll see. We'll
Vinales is a proven rider.
He's a proven rider,
and he got to hit it with Paris.
He's a proven rider, but there's a lot of
how much antibiotics.
There's a lot. Believe it or not,
it's been years. I'm sure the penicillin has cleared it up.
Even though World Superbike is a street bike and MotoGP is our prototypes, there is a lot of tech that feeds between World Superbike and MotoGP.
Yeah, but Vinales came out of Moto2.
I understand that, but that's not what I'm saying. My point is that Suzuki's experience in World Superbike it's almost an all or bust thing.
Yeah, but they
bust than everything else.
Batista a few years ago.
Well, yes, and what do they get out of that? Not much.
6th place.
Yeah, 6th place.
Which is better than a Ducati.
6th place in open class.
I don't like Ducatis.
See?
Yeah,
Emma, do you know what Ducati means in Italian?
No, but I just don't like the bikes at all.
It's 8th place.
Oh.
That's what it means in Italian.
I really don't
like our Ducati listeners.
I'm really looking at
Ducati. Bye, Hawkeye.
I can see. I'm looking at the comments under the video right now. I can see them. They say
that fat guy's a jerk.
That's right.
Arrivederci.
Arrivederci. And they have a
they're not going to be 8th place. They will. I don't think there's any question about this year.
They could.
But I'll get back to Suzuki.
They got 2 bikes in the race. One's going to finish 8th.
But it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't be better.
That doesn't matter. That was the best they could manage a couple years ago.
Yeah.
I don't have. This is not a knock on Suzuki. I just have very low expectations for this year.
I think 3 podiums for Suzuki.
Wow. If you're right on that, Phil, and
Five Guys,
save this,
give me Five Guys.
I love Five Guys. I'm getting a burger out of it this time.
You get in there, Emma. Emma's like, I get a burger this time too. All right. If they don't get, I'll make the deal sweet for Emma.
Okay.
If they don't get 3 podiums, I will buy you Five Guys.
Yeah, but I owe you $5 guys, so we'll just be even.
No. You still have to buy me $5 guys. You're not getting out of that.
Okay. Well, then, wait a minute. Then I get to pick my meal.
Okay. No.
You can pick your meal.
If you're getting.
Well, that's on the menu. I changed
Wait a
my
minute.
meal.
That's right.
I changed my meal.
Okay. Well, that's it. $5 guys is off. I want 2 guys now.
I don't want 2 guys.
Left and right.
I want 2
gals.
2
gals.
If it was chicken, I would say breastus. Breastus is. Can we say that on YouTube?
I don't know, but this is worth. This is worth at least 5,000 more views right now.
If not, whatever.
We're doing the wrong thing.
We're doing the right thing. But if I'm right and they get 3, you buy.
Okay. Well,
I'm getting a burger this time, cheeseburger, not a kid size, a real burger.
Okay, you get a real burger, and if I'm right, it's motorboating all the way home. Okay.
All right,
woo! Ken, that's the best.
All right.
So anyways,
it's too bad you guys can't see Ken's face on the camera. He's smiling really big.
Ken looks like he just ate a bunch of Kool-Aid, or drank a bunch of Kool-Aid. For the guys in the pool, we should cover the pool before we get out of here.
How much points did I get this time?
You barely got any, because I don't like you, so I didn't write down your points.
Oh, jeez.
We now have a 3-way tie at the top of the pool with a rookie, Kristen Casey, who's also a CSS and ASRA racer.
Well, good for him.
No, it's a her.
Her, Kristen.
Very beautiful blonde.
I'm sorry.
It's a her. It's a her. We've had 2 races. She picked Ray for the double on both. It's kind of hard to not be when you're perfect to not be leading the pool.
Well, he wasn't perfect because he got second that first race. No, Ray I was talking about.
Okay.
Hawkeye, who also did the same thing, he's in the tie. And Mike A. from last year, who was a bottom feeder last year, battling back with me, is now doing pretty decent. You don't want to be a past champion. Joshua's sitting back about 20 points back, and Martin is almost 25 points back.
We've had 2 races. I give absolutely no value to this whatsoever.
I would say that, but last year it was the first 4 races that put me behind so far.
I mean, you went 4 races with 0 points, Phil. That's why.
That is legit.
No one's doing that. No one's doing that.
Well,
Ken has
out of the DawgHouse
group.
Where do we place out of the group?
Warren's in 4th right now with 83 points.
Ooh.
I made up some ground on Warren. I'm in 8th place with 73 points.
That's because you ride a Ducati.
And Ken is all the way back in 14th place with 48 points.
Oh, really?
Wait, what about Durka Durka?
Durka's not in the pool.
Durka, you failed.
Yeah, he failed.
So he's back there with
he's skinny dipping
points.
He's skinny dipping somewhere.
He's back with 0 points. He's got 0 points.
He's like me last year, 0.0.
Right.
Circling the drain.
The pool. We're all pretty tight. In the pool, the numbers are looking pretty good. We're all pretty tight.
How many points does the first person have? The top.
95.
And what's the lowest score we have?
The lowest score is actually you at 48. There's a whole bunch of people
we've only
tied.
Wait a minute. So from the bottom to the top is how many points?
Is 40 whatever that is.
Yeah, good. That's
40
good.
something.
That's
47?
actually good. That's nothing. That's nothing.
47.
We got
a lot of people tied at like 8th.
We got some 100-point weekends coming up.
Yeah, we got a lot of people tied at 8th. Like I said, there's 3 people in the lead.
Right.
So there are some things going. Pool wise, get your picks in for Qatar.
Okay, well, speaking of that, who are you taking for this?
I don't know yet.
We're not picking yet.
We're not picking.
Oh, you should tell everybody.
No, not on YouTube.
No,
because then everybody be doing their fantasy. If you do fantasy MotoGP on their website, come try our pool.
Yeah, we're not gonna do our picks on the show. We're gonna do them in the pool.
Yeah, we're gonna do them in the pool. So the pool's shaping up nicely. I'm kind of happy about that. And I guess we should punch out, huh?
Probably. That's probably.
Wait, let me do the standard punch out.
Yes,
yeah.
punch out.
That's our goodbye wave. You should just go to one big video for that.
One big video. Why don't we just just go to
one isolated screen.
Okay,
it's all a work in progress.
I'll have to.
We'll figure this out eventually.
I'll have to work on.
That'll be our staple, though.
I like staples.
All right. So now Emma's going to say goodbye for everybody. Okay, there, Emma. You're full screen.
Woo!
There you go. Yay, Emma.
Bye, guys.
Wee.